afternoon. My name is Yusuff Herbert. No, I am a young farmer, a part-time farmer. Right? I more or less work on an afternoon after work and on a weekend. All right? Well, I really here today to represent my father, Christopher Herbert. All right? He farms in the Maracas and Joseph area. And I try to practice sustainable farming. All right? I started farming about with him couple years now, and it's not easy work. Sometimes it tends to get you weak and make you run, because if I could use Mr. Rollins as reference and Dr. Shango, they could tell you the mountain was steep like that, right? So what we did there was like putting in contour drains and terracing, and all right, now you could access the whole land by walking through without even breaking a sweat. All right, now we do in short-term crops like tomatoes, cauliflower, pimentos, hot peppers, and to be honest, only a couple months ago we started using organic material. More or less was super tack, and but we didn't used to abuse it. The way we used to use it is like not like the regular farmer every week, every 2 weeks. We used to use chemicals and like poison and things like every 3 months, every 6 months, right? For the sake of conserving that natural vegetation in the food still. All right? Now, it have a few things I could say today in terms of farming, because as I tell you, I green, right? But what I could say is that a couple months ago, the chemicals and natural pesticides and things that was introduced to us by Dr. Shango there, it has been working up to today, right? Because certain pests we are seeing, we had a problem with the tomatoes. Dr. Shango came and said, well, boy, but that is losses, take out everything. He said, either that or treat it with limestone. End up treating it with limestone, and up to today, the same tomatoes standing up. So I must say, the doctor knows what he's saying when he give you a good piece of advice. He give you advice. All right, in terms of the agriculture, I don't think government is doing much for agriculture in this country. As a small farmer, you're starting off, more or less you're dealing with plenty of issues. If you don't have the land on your name, you're in problems. Because the ADB could tell you, well, they have how much our loans offering. You ain't getting access to no loans without a deed of comfort or a letter stating, well, they authorize you to go through with it. So sustaining the agricultural program, it hard. That is why I am a part-time farmer, right? Because in terms of output, a finance is not a finance operation as a small farmer. And it have the ups and downs. It have days you feel to cry, and it have days you'll smile. Because it's not easy to know that you have kids to mind, you have rent to pay, you have bills to pay, and on the end of the day, you invest $10,000 and it's either pests lick you up, natural disaster lick you up, or the market just flood with goods. So on the end of the day, I'm glad to know that I'm seeing more things happening for farmers, and to know that it have people of interest, to know that this is not a dead-end road of walking where farming is concerned in. That are going down a road and farming could be successful just like every other business out there, you know? So, any questions anybody feel free to ask, I could try to answer. All right?
Can you tell me what your other job is?
Well, I work in the Ministry of Works. I'm a driver there. I work 8 to 4, Monday to Friday. Yeah.
Do you think that farmers could be, say in your community, that could be organized in a
Well, yes, it could be done, but in terms of organization, you know, as I say, the government, it had to be an NGO doing something like that to try to organize the farmers. Because in terms of farmers, if you check is when you have a handful of farmers here today, farmers fed up a meeting and coming out and because it's just talk, 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 and more talk. When a farmer report all the money for himself, and then you come in and tell them do it this way, somebody else come in and tell them do it that way, and then on the end of the day, he's still end up in losses. He can't blame you, he can't blame, if you understand. So it takes a little push to get the farmers together. Because I'm a member of the Farmers, Maracas Farmer Association, the Agriculture Society, the Aquaculture Society, and getting funding from any of these places is kind of difficult, I attend all the meetings, I think, and really and truly, to get farmers together, we have to see something working in. You see like how Cropper Foundation working, because I must say, through Dr. Shango, we got some chemicals like Numex and different, chemicals assist in the program. So that is one way that our farmer saving, he ain't had to put out that exactly straight from his pocket then. So if Dr. Shango say, well, you have a meeting, so I'm glad to hear that because, Dr. Shango supporting my cause, right? So once you're getting that support, yes, farmers could organize and come together to make sure that, all right, we have a branch where we distributing our food organically and stuff like that. But you need that support, because if we ain't get any support and you just coming on a loudspeaker and saying, well, all farmers come together and bring on their crop, nobody ain't coming, right? Because it's hard. Land is hard work. It's hard work when you're done your hand and corn. But I can say for the ones who farming on the flat, but I can tell you all my thighs hurting me, my legs hurting me. Sometimes I call me on a weekend, I studying boy to go today, boy. And I feel good today to see some of the work that we did was featured, here today, because that come like an encouragement for me to continue going. Because when my father telling me, boy, come on, let me bench here and terrace here, I say you're a madman in this kind of son, go through all that, and we could chuck the plants in the ground right here and mold it and it grow in the same way. Nah, if you understand. I tell you, honestly speaking, I look at him as a madman to be working in this hot sun. Because we ain't living up there, number one. We're going up there by the time we reach up there, it's 9 o'clock in the hot sun. You're working from 9 straight through till 3, 4 because you want to go home. So it's hot sun right through. So when I have a crater plant to put on, and I telling you, well, boy, we could put on the crater plant in a row you're going so, and you telling me, nah, bring a pickaxe, a crowbar, and a shovel, and start a dig. Look. Our neighbor here, he can testify. He just say, boy, this man drilling all that. So, to see that what we're doing is not mad thinking, but, it's logical thinking, and to know that at least we're doing something in a right way then, not just doing it for the sake of the money and all what involved in, So it gave me a little inspiration and a joy. I had to take time off to be here today because unfortunately my father is unemployed. He's a farmer, right? No, farming is not just farming. If you don't have money, you can't buy plants, you can't buy chemicals, you don't have gas for your worker, you don't have oil for your worker, you can't do nothing, you're stagnant. So what he went to do today, he is doing benching and terracing and doing contours in Paria, in the forest, as a little sideline to build a little income to keep the project running. Because my monthly salary isn't all that big to support home and the farming, so it has been a struggle. And to know that you're going through this struggle and you're trying and you're fighting up, and then the ADB tell you, all right, again, all the farmers, Alone Terrence is the president for the Maracas area. He called us, he say, well, ADB come, they have a mobile unit, they're giving loans. When we reach, we go through the whole system, sit down, go through the interview. They say they come in to see the land, the guy come up, the loans officer come up, he see the land, he see what we're doing, he say, well, a real surprise to see all the places and things. They say, where's the next step? You have to have a deed of comfort or to go forward. We went to the farm road office in Kirep. My father on a piece of land more than 20 years, right? When you go into the farm road office, he applied for that land over 15 years. They're saying they ain't see no records, which part we apply for the land. And so, I mean, all these things is break a farmer because after you done putting that kind of work and labor, somebody else come in and tell you, well, boy, you know, that is John own. John applied for that land, and and this time, you know, John was never in the picture because the neighbor could tell you the land was steep, so extension officer come. That was about 15 years ago. Come and he say, boy, all you mad, no food can grow here. You understand, this land barren because it's only razor grass and steep hill. When you dig in, so it's only big stone coming out like it's a corridor again. Today we have beds upon beds upon beds. We planting food, we planting tomatoes, we planting cauliflower. Dr. Shango could testify how the land is today, and the neighbor could testify how the land was 10 years ago. So it's hard work. On the end of the day, once I get that support, because really and truly, it's my brother, my father, and myself to do that kind of work. You ain't getting no outside input, no outside help. People tell me you're playing there in a time with that. Who you bring on your land, as they say? They're more or less studying the scheme and rob you. You might bring in a man to work, when crop time thing, he go and he cut out, it happened to me already. He cut out all the crop and gone with it. You understand? So it is be hard trusting people and going down that road. So once you're getting support, it does give you encouragement to go forward. You know, because I say, when he tell me come to the meeting today, I say meeting. I say, but if I go meeting, I'm a work to do. You understand? But as he can't make it, I say, well, you know, I will try to make an effort, take a day off to be here. You know, so I really appreciate what Cropper Foundation did in terms of Dr. Shango coming and still give us a little idea with the A-frame to bring it up above sea level and get it straight, because the contours we have, the beds we have, it might be as straight as all that, but it breaking down the majority of water, because when we now started off there, the hill, water used to run down the hill like a river. Actually run down. You couldn't plant a seed. If you plant a seed and rainfall, you're sure it wash away. So after years working on the land becomes habitable then. Where you can plant food to eat and grow and, you know. So there's a lot of struggle. So what I can say is, once again, any support, and Cropper Foundation here to support, we have to go forward and do the right thing. You're never too big to learn. Well, I never too big to learn because I still learning, right? I ain't saying I know all the correct practices, but I try to facilitate the ones that are being told about, right? So soil conservation, the drainage of the water, you know, because you have to study who below too. You just can't drain and run off your water and it cutting up your neighbor land down below for you to get a lawsuit. So you have to make sure and channel your water in a proper way, so as when it run off, it wouldn't cause no damage below. You understand? So I don't know if you have any more questions, but I know how much I could say again, because, you know, in terms of...
There's one thing that they say there that really gets my attention, and that is where you say you apply for the land, the state land. Right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And that's the same thing happened to me, so I thought I alone suffer that fate. We do not have representatives here from state land, but we
Yeah.
have an extension officer. I don't think he could do anything for the Maracas area. But you see, the laws they file. They can't find the file.
That is what going on. That is what going on, and I mean to say, after you put in all that work. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you go to them, they have no records. They can't find it.
Yeah, true. Any other questions?